All right, how's everyone? We are going to have a short intro today because more than likely a lot of you have been around for the last 4 or 5 weeks learning all about our wellness education, all the way from I have my oils, now what? And now we're moving into essential skincare. So if you are new, I'm Melissa Christopher. I am one of your educators on the Living Drop Collective. And I hope you're excited to really kind of dive deep into the skincare lines today. I've got a lot of testimonials to share with you. And then I even want to do a fun giveaway at the end that for those who are live on this beautiful July evening, sacrificing some time away from family or whatever is ahead of you tonight. I'm just extremely grateful for the commitment that you guys have had. 8 weeks is a long time. And so for a lot of us, it's like, I don't know if I've committed to anything for 8 weeks. So if you're here on week 5 and you've been here all the weeks, like congratulations. It's a really big deal and I'm really proud of you. So should we get going here? We are going to talk about your skin tonight. You have skin everywhere, right? We can talk about skin on your feet, skin under your arms, skin on your face. And the thing is, we have skin everywhere, but we probably are only really focused on the skin on our face for the most part, right? Because it's what we see every day when we look in the mirror, it's what others see. And so when you think about your skin, maybe you're really negative about your skin. Maybe your facial skin is struggling. Maybe you're dealing with breakouts, or maybe you've got some eczema patches, or maybe you've got some dark spots or aging lines or whatever. But I want you just to take at least 1 minute, 30 seconds to a minute before we get started and just think about some of the things that you actually love about your skin. And maybe it's as simple as like, I don't know, I love the color of my skin, or I love the feel of my skin. Honestly, I think aging skin feels amazing. I loved holding my grandma's hands as she passed. Like, I just love feeling that skin. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's you're like really proud that your skin stretched to fit 3 babies growing inside over your motherhood lifetime. I don't know, but there are some things that you've got to love about your skin. Let's take some appreciation for this biggest organ that we have, right? But there are probably some things you want to improve. That's what the whole point of tonight is, really, is to just figure out what are some really common issues that we deal with our skin, and how can we use essential oils to really impact them. There are a lot of people that walk into essential oils for the first time ever, not really ever thinking that they're going to be here, but the skincare system, the skincare world has failed them miserably. They are on the most expensive skincare line, on the most powerful acne regimen, and they are struggling. And so they walk into essential oils, and we sometimes sample them with a few drops of tea tree, like we're talking 12 cents worth of essential oils, and their skin clears up, and it's life-changing. That was actually Kristen who introduced me to doTERRA. That was her story. She was introduced to essential oils, dealing with all of the breakouts and the things that seem typical for college students, right? But she just couldn't get a hold of it. Tea tree and lavender and frankincense just changed her world. So let's jump into some of those categories that people start asking, could oils help with this? The most common skin issue that you'll find is redness. You might have like real severe redness, like a rosacea. You might just have some kind of patchy redness, maybe some rashy redness. If you've got those kind of specifics, I've got some ideas over on the side there, but the biggest oils that you're going to want to be focusing on are frankincense and helichrysum and yarrow palm. We also have CorrectX down there. Is this a new product to anyone? CorrectX, maybe you didn't even know that doTERRA sold this little magic ointment, but it is really inexpensive, 10 bucks, I think. And I don't know if I've bought more than a couple in my lifetime. Like, they just last my lifetime, my doTERRA lifetime. They just last a really long time. And CorrectX actually has a lot of those oils in it. Let me grab my bottle here. CorrectX has oils like this. It'll actually tell you right on the front of the bottle if you have it, or the back, excuse me. Frankincense, helichrysum, cedarwood, melaleuca or tea tree, and lavender. So let's back up. Frankincense, we talked a lot about at the beginning of this series, right? Frankincense is the king of oils, but the reason he's so powerful in skincare is because he's anti-inflammatory. He's going in and he's looking for the inflammation. And so redness is rooted in inflammation. So that can be really powerful. But frankincense is powerful. So I really encourage you to dilute frankincense, because that is one that if you're using that repeatedly in the same area over time could cause some sensitivity. So a little bit goes a long way. Some of us just drop 1 or 2 drops of frankincense in our entire thing of moisturizer that we're using. Some people use a drop in their hands of the squirt of moisturizer every day. You'll just have to kind of see how your skin responds to that. Helichrysum, also in Correct-X. I don't even know if it's pronounced helichrysum. It might be pronounced like helichrysum, but I pronounce it helichrysum because it reminds me healing chrism. It's the healing chrism. It is the healing oil. We call it liquid stitches actually in the oil world. And it is crazy powerful for healing skin. My son is really sensitive to oils. He has been since he was little. He's starting to come out of it a little bit now using Terrazyme, but helichrysum is an oil he does not respond to at all negatively. It just happens to be a pretty spendy oil, right? He just has very rich taste, apparently. Because if I use lavender on him, he's sensitive to it. But helichrysum, nothing. So doTERRA sells those helichrysum rollers. They did back in November in the gift set. And we use that everywhere for everything, any kind of skin issue. And then Yarrow Pom, we're going to spend a ton of time talking about Yarrow Pom tonight because, oh my word, that little nutritive duo is really phenomenal. And then Correct-X is like a natural Neosporin. So if you've ever looked up the ingredients to Neosporin, you might say, oh, maybe I shouldn't be using that. It's kind of surprising what is actually in that. It seems pretty safe, right? But it's not something I would probably use on my kids' skin for sure, and not repetitively. And then you think about putting it over open wounds, like how easily all of those ingredients are penetrating into the system. So this is a really powerful one to use. So let's keep moving here. What's another common skin issue? Scars, right? Maybe you just recently got an injury, or maybe you've had a long-term scar that you'd like to deal with. Either way, there are a lot of oils that are really powerful for scarring. So let's talk about all the scars that could happen, right? Maybe you had surgery and you need to heal a scar. Maybe you had a cesarean section and that would have a scar to it, right? Some of us have had surgery to remove like cancer or things like that on our faces. I should have actually pulled up some really cool scarring pictures from one of our peers in doTERRA who had some skin cancer removed. And then actually our upline, Callie Kenny, has had some skin cancer removed right above her lip. And man, you would just never know. And they are all over the oils on their face. So geranium is a really powerful oil to be using for that. Frankincense, again, Yarrow Pom, and then neroli might be one that you haven't considered. But look at this sweet little baby on the right here. This is one of our educators, Megan Nankoval. You've maybe seen her face pop around the LDC. This is her daughter, her oldest. And this was back in February. She went sledding and ouch, big ol' accident. And so she was using a lot of different oils. I wonder if I could even pull up her exact regimen, but I know once it scabbed over, she started using the Correct-X on it. So she was also using Yarrow Pom serum. So that has the Yarrow Pom oil in it, but she was also adding some lavender and frankincense to that and applying that kind of while it was open. And then as soon as it scabbed, she moved right to the Correct-X. Look at that, from day 1 to day 6. That's pretty phenomenal, isn't it? I love that little, I mean, so sad to see that, right? But she looks like a little dreamy, happy baby there at day 6. So hopefully this doesn't like gross anyone out here. I know this is like really brutal images here, but these are friends of mine within doTERRA, some of their children and their scars and injuries. Look at the results, you guys. 2 days from that little girl, or excuse me, 6 days on that little girl on the left from a big, this was like a little electric bike or motorbike, something like that. She fell. Ouch. I can't imagine the tears. It's only 6 days later using Correct-X. Look at that face. You would have no clue that happened, even if you saw her 5-6 days later. And then this middle one is actually, I believe it's a stovetop burn or some kind of burn My son had a burn like that right before he turned 2, and man, those blister like crazy. But think about that. That's the healing power of the body. That's the proper response. It makes that amazing little bubble for all of that healing juice on the inside to heal. But you can apply oils right over top of that as long as you're real careful, and it'll puncture on its own. And then look what happened 6 days later. So she was applying the same oils as that far picture on the right, frankincense, helichrysum, lavender, and tea tree. And the picture on the right is just a 6-hour difference. Look at how the healing is happening so fast. Like it's literally, so she was considering stitches for that big gaping wound, which I mean, all of us probably would, right? But she was like, I'm just going to try oils first. You can see it's like literally like stitching itself back together there. Anyway, so talk about liquid stitches, right? I thought those were really cool pictures that you guys would appreciate. So if it can do that in just a matter of days, think about some consistency of even scars that have been there for a while, over 6 weeks to 2 months, something like that. The consistency is important, and that's why a lot of these pictures you'll see have like roller balls or like dropper tops, just like make it very easy for you to use things super consistently. Breakouts, oh my goodness. If I could have $1 for every person that is dealing with irritations on the skin, and man, it is so emotionally debilitating and it breaks my heart, and it's things that I've dealt with too. But breakouts come from so many different issues. So there's really not one thing that I can recommend for breakouts. I can just say, just don't give up, because you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. But a lot of times it's a food sensitivity. Sometimes it's hormone related. Sometimes it's a bacteria overgrowth in your stomach, in your gut, that's causing that imbalance. And your skin is your largest organ, if I haven't said that already. And so it's just reflecting, it's like it's purging just the same way other organs will too. So the recommended products for breakout specifically is the HD Clear. We talked about that last week for adolescent skin, teenager skin, but my husband and I use it all the time. We call it the zit stick, or I think that's what we call it, zit stick. Anyway, and we just roll it right on. HD Clear is pure oil in that roller ball. There's nothing added to it. And I like that because different carrier oils will affect different skin. I'm going to talk about that before we finish here, but just know that you can take that HD Clear oil and you can split it up in multiple roller balls. I actually like that idea because like you're obviously rolling it on skin that's irritated. It's not a rollerball you probably want to last like 2 years, you know? So for me, I like to have it used up quickly. A small little rollerball that you could put it in, I think makes the most sense. And then you can add whatever carrier oil you prefer. Tea tree, did y'all get the BOGO yesterday? Hope so. Tea tree was in that BOGO, and we talk a lot about skin when we talk about tea tree. It's amazing. That's what the girl on the right here is Jen might even be on the call tonight. This is her friend that she introduced to doTERRA, and she just made a face wash for her. That face wash recipe is in the LDC, but basically we're just taking a foamer pump. We're adding some unscented Castile soap and some water and some tea tree. That's it. And that's what she was washing her face with. And that was just a few days, a couple weeks at max, I think. Jen maybe can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I know it wasn't very long, just kind of shocking there. And then my friend Megan here on the left, I asked her permission to share these stories. She is still in her journey of healing on her face. She's under a lot of stress. She is married into a family with 3 children. And so she's just like trying to become mom, and she's trying to work full time. She's in the medical industry right now, which is just really challenging. So just a ton of stress. So we know that stress is playing a role in what's going on, but there's a lot of people that experience stress, right? And it doesn't mean that your face has to completely blow up against you. And so those top 2 pictures are her several months ago, just like at her wit's end. And I think the improvement on the bottom row, don't you all agree? That's really phenomenal in just a few weeks. Maybe a month. I'd have to look back up on my text, but what she is doing is actually addressing a little bit more internally. And I'm going to talk about that before we end here, but she is using doTERRA's skincare line. She's also using some Beautycounter products that are a little bit more natural than what you'll find just every day, but she's using 2 probiotics doTERRA's, she's taking 2 capsules of doTERRA's PB Assist. And then she's also taking the Zendecrine complex. So we've kind of like tossed around that supplement a few different times. We have not really been able to dive into it deeply. I still hope at some point we will. But the Zendecrine complex is not essential oils. It's actually herbs and plant extracts that help keep your chimneys, your detox pathways moving freely. So if your body is not able to remove toxins easily, it's just gonna like push them out through the skin. It's gonna do whatever it can to try to stay up. And if it's overwhelmed, it will easily look like that. So she told me she was using 2 PB Assist and then those Zendecrine, and her breakouts had been minimal for the last 2 to 3 months. So that with this, and I said, so has your stress changed? And she's like, oh, no. So that's just really intriguing to me that you can still be under a really stressful situation, address the gut, and still make progress. So now, should we find ways to deal with the stress? For sure. We're going to teach a whole class on that. Is that next week? Maybe. But that's just something to really consider. Now, one thing I want to note, there is rose essential oil on this slide, and rose is powerful for the skin, especially like if you're dealing with some bad bacteria on the skin. Maybe you've got like pink eye or MRSA. That's some really non-compliant language, but it's real. There's a lot of true testimonies that talk about that oil. That's really powerful to be using in those situations. We have one of our leaders in doTERRA, his son, they were at risk of maybe even losing his eye over a MRSA issue. It was creeping in so close, and they got after it with tea tree and rose. And the picture, I wish I had room to put all these pictures up here, but the pictures are wild to see how fast that improved. And he ended up obviously being just fine. So, but what I want to say though about the rose is this is diluted in fractionated coconut oil. And that's awesome when you're using it all over the skin because it keeps it super safe. It also makes rose affordable in that rollerball, right? But some skin does not do well with fractionated coconut oil, like specific, like acne, more acne prone skin. You're probably not going to want a touch roller. So that would be one that if you want the benefits of rose, you maybe need to save up your points or figure out a way to kind of splurge on some real rose and then just take a few drops, maybe 2 or 3, or find a friend you can buy some drops from or something, and add it to a different kind of carrier oil that will make it a little bit more gentle or just compatible is the word I think I'm looking for your skin. I see the chat's going and I'm not able to look at it, but I'll be able to go back through. So brown spots. So I can't tell you how many pictures I've seen of hands like this within my doTERRA community. As soon as the Yarrow palm oil was released a couple of years ago at convention, everyone was doing the Yarrow challenge because someone had said, hey, this is like clearing up the brown spots on my skin. And everyone's like, for real? So everyone was doing that. And I don't even know if some of those are freckles. Like I don't know what she's got going on in her hands, but can you see the difference in just using Yarrow palm? That was 3 weeks of using Yarrow palm oil on her hands. So just think about what that could do for your face or your arms or legs or whatever kind of spots you're dealing with. So let's talk about Yarrow palm for just a second. Yarrow is an essential oil, and it actually comes from a yellow flowering plant. But have you ever, you have Yarrow, right? Have you opened it up? What color is it? Not yellow. It's blue. When it's distilled, it actually has a chemical change that turns it blue. It's bright blue. So if you like want to be the Smurf for Halloween, you could do it with Yarrow palm. You just need to have enough that it doesn't absorb too quickly, and you could be totally blue. My husband has a really funny picture of him totally blue. But that was actually from Blue Tansy, so another oil that's blue. But anyway, Yarrow is the essential oil. Palm stands for pomegranate seed oil. Y'all need to just take 2 minutes tonight because I don't have time to go through it, but just go onto Google or Bing or whatever search engine that you're using and type in pomegranate seed oil benefits. And it's going to go, you're going to go, what? It's one of the most powerful carrier oils that you can use for collagen production. So, you know, people get Botox, right? Why do they get Botox? To help even out lines, right? It's actually can be kind of dangerous because it actually relaxes muscles to the point where you wouldn't have wrinkles. So that's helpful, right? If you want to look wrinkle free, but it's not helpful when you don't want to relax muscles like Like there's lots of muscles you don't want to relax. Like your heart is a muscle, those kind of things. So just think about the cautions for Botox, obviously, if you've ever considered. But Botox can be, I think, achieved without the injections by really diving into the world of pomegranate seed oil, because it actually helps boost collagen production. Another thing that boosts collagen production is actually consuming collagen. Do you know what collagen is? It's like in the bones, right? We have collagen in our bones. Do you know how we consume collagen? From animal bones. So if you're vegan, then you probably aren't going to enjoy this next 30 seconds. But if you're consuming grass-fed, clean meat that is not full of antibiotics and all of the things that typically happen in our meat industry, if you've got a local farmer or someone that you can trust that can tell you that it's good meat, then you can actually get it processed and request the bones. I'm the weirdo that calls the meat processing company and is like, hey, will you save all those bones for me from my cattle? Like, I know you're going to send me the ground beef, but also send me all the bones. And they don't charge you for the bones because that's not a normal thing. But we take those bones and we put them in a big pot or instant pot and we boil it with apple cider vinegar and bay leaves and all of that. And it actually is what creates Jello. That's what gelatin, collagen, all of that, it will really nourish your gut. And it will increase collagen production for your skin. So people that are consuming a lot of bone broth, maybe you've even heard of people doing that, they have really, really nice looking skin, promise you. So that's important. All right, I've gone on a big tangent. I went all the way down to eating bones on this whole slide here, so I apologize for that. Hopefully, if you wanted to learn more about that, you could do some digging and diving. There's so much online to learn about that. But these are amazing oils for brown spots. The one I want to point out specifically is black spruce. If you haven't ordered black spruce, it's a newer oil since September. That would be one that I would be spot treating, especially if there's brown spots on your face. That's one that I would focus on. So, okay, we got to keep moving. I could just talk about so many things forever. Aging. I have aging signs in my hair. I'm only 34, so I haven't seen a ton of it in my face yet, but slightly. So I don't think it takes very long for you to start thinking aging. I don't think you have to wait till you're 60 or 70. Deb Dornball is my favorite lady to talk about this with, because she's like, if I would have had my oils back when I was 30, life would be, I don't know what she says, but it's just so funny to listen to her talk about it. But she loves the results from essential oils on her face. Deb, I think you have gorgeous skin, no matter what age you started with essential oils, just for the record. But Immortelle is kind of the known anti-aging blend oil. This is what a lot of us are rolling all over all the skin, because it's really proven to reduce fine lines, wrinkles, and just help repair skin. So that's really powerful. Did you know what oils are in Immortelle? Sometimes you are like, what's the big fuss about this Immortelle? Did anyone get it free back in June? You should have. If you spent 200 PV in June, you got it free. Here's my freebie Immortelle anti-aging blend. These are all the oils that are in it if you can't see the bottom of my screen. I'll read them from the top. So the first ingredient is frankincense. We know that costs $60-some, right? Hawaiian sandalwood is an expensive oil. That's about $70. Myrrh, pretty spendy oil, $59. Lavender oil, helichrysum, we talked about how powerful that is, right? That's another $70 oil. And then rose, you can all see what rose costs. That is a crazy expensive oil. So if you wanted to make your own Immortelle, you could. I'll get you a recipe, but nobody wants to do that, right? Because Immortelle is about a $70 oil. And did you know this is pure essential oils? This is not diluted. This rollerball is just 100% those essential oils. So absolutely dilute this. And again, if you don't want to do it with fractionated coconut oil, then find another carrier oil that you prefer. Like, well, we'll talk about them here in just a minute, but Immortelle is a really powerful oil. Neroli, myrrh, frankincense, those are all good too. But I think if you were just going to have one go-to for that, I would do Immortelle. A lot of people just roll it underneath before they put their moisturizer on. So we have to talk about this because all of the things we just talked about are all outside in responses. And that's okay, because sometimes it is an outside issue. But lots of times, like 80% of the time, it's the inside that's being reflected. And so I just think if you saw all those slides and you find some ideas that you can start implementing, that's where I think you should start, because it's very simple. A lot of you already have a lot of those oils. Get going after it. But if you aren't seeing like results in a few weeks, then there's probably, or something just keeps returning, then I think it's an inside issue. And then I'd really start focusing on the inside. And so lifelong vitality, I can see a direct correlation with my skin and my nails and my hair when I'm on regular lifelong vitality. Does anybody else feel that way who's taking it? Yeah. The nods. Now, I am a challenged pill swallower. If you haven't seen my video, you need to go watch it. It's me embarrassing myself on how difficult it is for me to swallow pills. But I have fought through it. Like, I was literally crushing my like pills in my like medicine in college. I still couldn't do it. And when I had got pregnant with my first baby, I was like, okay, I have to figure this out. And so I've got some tips and tricks in that video. But so lifelong vitality is a challenge for me, because we're talking at least 6 to 12 pills a day. Plus I take the PB Assist and the Terrazyme. I'll go through my regimen with you. And so I'm not as consistent as I want to be, but when I am, so I actually know what my skin looks like when I'm off of it for a few days or even a week or two. Sometimes I'll get that far off track. And then when I get back on, man, it makes such a difference. But look at all those skin nutrients. If you start researching what are the best nutrients for my skin, those are the ones that are going to come up. And that's what's in the lifelong vitality. Biotin, you hear about that all the time for skin. Vitamin K, vitamin C, such good stuff. So at the very bottom, do you see that linoleic acid? That's what I want to talk about for just a second. There's two types of oils, two categories basically. There's linoleic and oleic. And so oleic would be like argan oil and jojoba oil and macadamia nut oil and fractionated coconut oil. And then there's linoleic, that's like ones that you maybe, if you're not familiar with this world, you probably haven't heard of before, like watermelon seed oil or passion fruit seed oil. You've maybe heard of grape seed oil or pomegranate seed oil. Those are linoleic acids. And more acne prone skin, they don't necessarily like the oleic acids. So if you're dealing with some like continual breakouts and you've never really done some research into the oleic and the linoleic, I don't have time to go into all that, but just know there's more in depth that you could really discover about what your skin likes. My friend Callie Kenny, I just asked her if she has a recorded class on this, because this is her world. This is what she loves. And so hopefully I can get that access to that and get that out to you guys if she does, but she's talked a lot about this. So I just threw this picture on right before we started here tonight. I just think it's interesting how much your facial skin can reflect what's going on the inside. Maybe you're dealing with redness or patchy skin or breakouts in just specific areas. Sometimes it's like all over, right? Then it's like we for sure got an inside issue, but maybe it's something like just on your jawline. A lot of women deal with acne just on their jawline, and we're probably dealing with a hormonal issue. And you can see pelvic organs there. If you've got like rosacea stuff dealing here, maybe under the eyes, you might be dealing with like a stomach or kidney issue. So anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. There's a lot of research to show, depending on where you're dealing with issues, how that can be directly affecting in direct correlation with certain organs. And so I think if that's the case, then you could start looking at things like the symphony of the cells. Remember we talked about that last week, where it's like deals with specific organ systems, and then you could really be addressing that. If it's a stomach issue, then let's start dealing with the digestive protocol. Let's do that regularly, and let's start seeing some healing there. Let's get some nutrition to your gut. If it's a kidney issue or a bladder issue, like a urinary tract thing, then let's start with the lymphatic protocol, and let's start flushing toxins out of our lymphatic system. You can even get lymphatic massage and all of that. There's actually a lot of tools for the skin. There is like you can get a jade roller that can help with that. I wrote this stuff down. There's like a jade roller, a derma roller, and then there's even a guasha. Am I saying that right? Anybody know anything what I'm talking about? Am I speaking like a foreign language? Okay, I'll stop. But there are so many things that you can be using on your skin to help stimulate the lymphatic flow. So if you're dealing with something really like consistent and persistent, then I think it's worth looking into a little deeper. So additional internal support. Oh my gosh, this is the most important slide, you guys. Please screenshot this. If you're not drinking water, and I'm not talking about the water that makes your coffee. I know, don't send me any hate mail, but it's true, okay? That's not the same. Water, like pure filtered water. And just so you know, tap water is not safe to be drinking. I don't care what anyone tells you. You can take me to, you can try to prove me wrong. I'd love it, because then that would require you to do some research. But take a look at what's in your tap water, not healthy. Anyway, filtered water, drinking at least half your body weight per day is so crucial for flushing toxins. If your body is not regularly eliminating, and you have a lot of detox pathways, right? Your skin is one of them, your bottom, your intestines, your digestive tract is another one, your mouth, like you're breathing out CO2, that's important. That's why if you're hearing people freak out about masks, I'm not telling you any yes or no on that, but if they're freaking out, it's because they don't want to block their detox pathway all day long. So just know that water is really important in flushing all that. Adding essential oils to your water is going to impact your lymphatic system tenfold, because it's going to actually be taking those toxins and eliminating them. Remember, lemon on like a styrofoam cup is going to eat away at all those petrochemicals. It's going to do that in your system. It's going to get rid of all of that junk in your lymphatic system and help you flush it. You might be urinating more often. That'd be a good thing. So that's important. Then now let's jump back over to the 3 supplements. Terrazyme. Are you all tired about us talking about Terrazyme? Terrazyme is so powerful for eliminating toxins and actually digesting your food. It will calm your angry skin, I promise you. In fact, if you deal with food intolerances, I bet you're feeling it in your face and in your skin. Terrazyme will talk you into eating the junk because you're going to feel like you're getting away with it. It's like I eat Terrazyme with my meals when I'm splurging, and I'm like, this doesn't mean this is okay, Melissa. This doesn't mean this is okay, because I actually feel fine and I don't receive the repercussions from breakouts from like high cheesy meals or like ice creams and things like that that I normally would. PB Assist is just going to help soothe gut inflammation and help make sure that bacteria balance is normal. We've talked a lot about those 2 supplements. But Yaropalm, can I take 30 seconds to talk? It won't be 30 seconds. You guys know that, right? Yaropalm Cellular Beauty Complex, just for a minute here. So can I read some of the ingredients to these capsules? You maybe didn't even know these existed. Yaropalm capsules. We talked about them super briefly in the supplement week, but these have vitamin C, pretty important, right? Zinc also. And then there's a complex blend with pomegranate seed oil, just told you about that, grape seed extract, yarrow stem oil, frankincense resin, celery seed oil, palmarosa oil, turmeric, really important for inflammation, and melon fruit concentrate. Did you know melon fruit concentrate ours comes from France, and it actually creates more of a glowing skin-like effect. So I have to talk about Deb again for just a minute. When last week I asked all of my educators for some tips for essential oils for every age. Do you remember that slide I had with some tips? And one of the tips she gave me, I didn't put up there because I thought that it was better for this week. But she said, y'all remember the LuLaRoe leggings, right? She goes, you know, when you put those on for the first time and you like just couldn't stop feeling them because they were like so soft. Maybe you guys haven't had the experience, but let's just say for, I actually don't own any either, but my daughter does, and I know how soft they are. But anyway, she said, that's what my skin feels like when I take the Yaropalm complex. I just can't stop touching it. And I thought that was so awesome. I've heard some really wild testimonials from Yaropalm, and you know what? I will admit publicly here in front of all 31 of you that I have a really hard time taking these because it's another 2 capsules on top of the capsules that I already am committed to with the Lifelong Vitality, the PBS this, the Terrazyme, my D3, so many things that I'm taking. And so I haven't been consistent. But you know what? Ever since I had my baby a year ago, I have dealt with hormonal acne along my jawline, and I get a breakout or 2 every time I ovulate and every time I menstruate. And the Yarrow Palm oil was really keeping it from getting out of control. And I feel like it helps deal with the scarring from that really well, but I was still breaking out constantly. And so this month I was like, I have a skincare class coming up at the end of the month. I can't be like totally broke out and be like, trust me, oils are amazing, right? So I've been committing to the Yarrow Palm for only like a week, not very long. Maybe 10 days. I'd have to look back, but I'm well into my cycle and I have not broken out this month, you guys. I have not gone this long without a breakout since I had my baby a year ago. Cause we know like pregnancy and birth, that changes your hormones a little bit. I'm breastfeeding, which plays a role. And so I'm really, really stoked to check back in with you guys in a couple weeks and see if that's still as powerful as it has been for me. So just know that is another supplement. If you are feeling like it's a little bit more hormonal based, that might be one you want to check into. All right, there's 3 skincare lines. So we've dealt with some essential oil remedies. We've talked about the internal need for health for the skin. And then now let's talk about the 3 skincare lines in doTERRA. So this is Virage. This is my personal favorite. This is 100% natural ingredients. Even the preservatives in here to keep Virage intact, or whatever you want to say, shelf stable, are natural. So that's cool. So if you've got like a guru that's like looking for all the clean stuff, Virage is it. So you've got the toner on the far left. It's actually in a mister, so you can just mist it right on your face or mist it on a little organic cotton pad. And then you've got the cleanser, which is my favorite part of Virage. So it has a little bit of basil in it, basil and wild orange. It smells really like citrus herby. Oh man, oh, I just love it. And then the hydrating serum, if you've looked at those ingredients, that's actually all the essential oils that are in Immortelle. Cool, right? But it's in a serum, a hydrating serum. So it applies super easily. And then the moisturizer is one of my favorites out of all the skincare, the Virage moisturizer. So that's the 4 parts. That's what I use on a daily basis. I'll show you my regimen as we get going. And it feels pretty affordable for me. I only use the cleanser once a day because I use something else in the morning. And I just feel like it lasts a long time, maybe 6 months or something. But $84.50, I've actually never actually spent money on Virage. I've only ever cashed in my points for Virage. So I've actually never paid for it. So maybe that's why it feels not so expensive to me. But then there is the HD Clear Facial Kit. We talked about this briefly last week, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. But you've got your cleanser on the left. You've got the spot treatment, which you can buy all these individually too. Even the Virage you can buy individual. But if you buy it as a kit, it's discounted. So this price is the discounted kit that you see. Discounted price on your website. And then the HD Clear foaming wash. But that's like, if you were going to make your own foaming wash, remember I told you about that girl a few slides back? That's what we did. We just bought one of those empty foamer pumps and added the essential oils, the Castile soap, and the water, and just made a little foamer. Easy travel like this. So if you've got young kids or teenagers, or maybe you're even in your young 20s, that's probably, like, anyone can use this line, but the feedback that I hear the most is though that age group really likes this. It's a little bit more drying to the skin. So if you're very oily, acne prone, then this would be something you'd want to consider. And then the essential skincare line. Can I just give a little shout out to all my Watertown people? If you're from Watertown, South Dakota, or you're within driving distance, there is a salon that I used to work at in my high school days that is literally doing facials. Anyone had a facial? With the essential skincare line. Oh my gosh, how amazing. So you've got to call Salon 2000 in Watertown, South Dakota, and schedule yourself some female self-care time, because I've heard I need to get up there and do it myself. COVID has thrown a little loop in my life for that. But the women that have done it are like, it's mind-blowing amazing, because this line is really incredible. So the 4 that are in the back, the farthest back, is the invigorating scrub, the facial cleanser, the pore reducing toner, and the anti-aging moisturizer. Those 4 are the base set for $90. But it's kind of just like the Lifelong Vitality. You can buy those 4 and then add on any additional ones that you want, like the brightening gel or the hydrating cream, and then they're discounted. So instead of paying the full price on the add-ons, they're super discounted. So with everything all together, it's a couple $100, but this is going to last you a long time. And some of these I don't use every day. So the invigorating scrub is just what you think. It's grapefruit and peppermint. I love it in the shower, especially in the morning if I use this line, because it's just a big wake me up. The facial cleanser is tea tree and peppermint. And then pore reducing toner, like who wants to reduce some pores? It's I've heard some great testimonials from Wisdom Skin that has had good results with the pore reducing toner. And then the anti-aging moisturizer smells super yummy. The brightening gel is actually out of stock right now, but if you've got really dark spots, what do they call it? Vitiligo, is that what it is? I actually have a little bit right here. The brightening gel would be something you could try with a little bit of black spruce added. The hydrating cream is amazing in the winter. Amazing. It went out of stock for a little while this winter, and people were like, I think I had 12 people that were waiting for that to come back in, because we use it so much, especially on cuticles and hands and heels. And then in the winter, I love it on my face. The anti-aging eye cream, if I would have had more time, I would have gotten some before and after pictures of that. People, it's just got this gorgeous stainless steel roller ball that's cold. Feels so good, especially if you've even got like itchy eyes from allergies, or maybe you just got like puffy eyes in the morning. A little bit of squirt of that and you can just roll it all the way around your eyes. And then the tightening serum, that can be put anywhere, friends. So whatever you need to tighten up, we'll just leave it there. But that's the Essential Skin Care line. It used to actually be called the anti-aging line, but I think the FDA got worked up about that or something. So who knows? But now it's called the Essential Skin Care line, and really anyone can use this. If we look at my daily rhythm, I use bits and pieces of all of it. I actually have a charcoal bar that I like to use in the morning. Typically my face is already clean because I've washed it at night. And so the charcoal bar, I actually have a beauty counter one right now, but I've also used crunchy charcoal bars, and they're awesome. The Virage moisturizer I use, so I actually take a squirt of Virage moisturizer. I take another squirt of a brand called Crunchy. It's one of the most natural makeup. Sorry for all that noise upstairs. Teaching a class, family. The Virage moisturizer, the Crunchy Daylight moisturizer. So my skin's pretty sensitive. Maybe that's where my son gets it, but I can't do just straight oils on my face. So I like to dilute my moisturizer my essential oil moisturizer with another moisturizer that doesn't have any essential oils in it. So Virage moisturizer plus the Crunchy Daylight moisturizer, and then a squirt of the Virage serum and 2 drops of Yarrow Pom. It's just like my magic sauce. I love those 4 things right in my hand, all over my face. A lot of times in the summer I don't wear makeup. That's just it. And my skin like glows afterwards. We call it the Yarrow glow. I love it. In the afternoon, I'm always taking my internal stuff, my Lifelong Vitality, the PB Assist. I've actually up to 2 PB Assists. Since my friend Megan sent me her pictures, I was like, I'm going from 1 to 2 for a while because I really want to tackle the gut. And then Terrazyme. Now I'm taking my Yarrow Pom capsules, and then the Zendocrine Complex. I try to take that several times a week. It's probably not every afternoon, but I actually had some liver issues in pregnancy, and so I know that I have possibly a liver that just needs a little more support. So the Zendocrine is doing that for me. And then in the evening, I'm Virage face washing, I'm Virage toning, and then I actually like the hydrating cream from the Essential Skincare line in the winter, but I use the Virage moisturizer in the summer. And then my extras, I don't have time to talk about tonight, but I've got down there the detoxifying mud mask. So awesome. Did you know we have a mud mask? I actually use it on my armpits, like a lot. So I just apply it to my armpits right before I get in the shower, and then a few minutes into the shower, I'll wash it off. The bottoms of the feet, you can detox too. Those are all detox pathways. So I like it on the bottom of my feet, and then I step into the shower, or Yeah, and then actually just use it as like almost spot treatment on little acne trouble spots. Dry brushing is a whole nother class we could talk about, but I like to put some Zendicrine oil, that's the detoxification blend, or the Slim and Sassy, the metabolic blend, under my dry brush before I get in the bath or shower as well. All right, wellness box suggestion. So y'all know about Lifelong Vitality, but I don't know if we've ever clearly explained, when you order the Lifelong Vitality, you actually can add on supplements like Terrazyme and PB Assist for just 20 bucks. So the Terrazyme, if you just go into your cart and add it, it'll be $34.50, which I think is still great. It's worth it. But man, it's pretty awesome to get it for 20 bucks. And that's what you can do when you add it as an add-on to the Lifelong Vitality. And you can actually add up to 3 supplements for $20 a piece. So the PB Assist, I add for $20. Sometimes I get 2 PB Assist, 1 Terrazyme, and the Lifelong. Sometimes I get 2 Terrazyme and 1 PB Assist, depending on what we need, what we're using. But or like the Deep Blue polyphenols, those are normally $60. But if you add them to the Lifelong Vitality, they're just 20. So I just wanted you to know that. I don't think you should pay for your barrage. I think you should cash in your points. That's my personal opinion. But if you added all those things together, you'd have about a $200 order and 150 PV order. And that means you'd get the free product of the month. Now, I've had some people not answer correctly on what are the 3 requirements to get the oil of the month. There they are. You have to order on the loyalty reward program. You have to spend 125 PV or more, and you have to process it on or before the 15th of the month. That's how you get the free oil of the month. So this month it was fennel, and I don't know what it'll be next month, but we'll find out on August 1st. Okay, can we finish up with just a little bit about me? I've been talking this whole time, and now I want to talk about me again. That's really awesome. Embarrassing. Okay. But I wanted to just personally answer a few of the questions that I've had some of my other educators answer this week. And I want to do it a little bit in a fun way. So don't pop off, because this is where my giveaway is happening. The 3 skincare lines can be easily sampled, and I have all of them. I actually have an extra set of all of them so that I can sample out. Sometimes I just give someone the whole set to just try for a couple weeks. Obviously, I can't do that with all of you. But I could send out little samples of every step of the skincare lines. Wouldn't that be so fun to try a skincare line for a few days for free? That's what I want to do. So y'all know how the chat works, right? Looks like 87 of you found the chat while I was talking, which is so awesome. I'll go back through that in a few minutes. But what I want you to do is I'm going to share a little bit about myself just for a few minutes. What time is it? 8:04, 6 minutes. I'm going to share a little bit about myself, how I got into doTERRA as a business. And what I want you to do is put a question in the comment box asking me about my business. So it can be anything, like what's your favorite oil to sample? How long have you been doing doTERRA? Hopefully it'll be a question I don't answer in my next few minutes, but ask me anything. What do you make, Melissa? I don't care. I don't care what you ask me. That will be awkward, but I'll answer it. So I just want to know what you want to know about doTERRA as a business. Doesn't matter if you have no interest in doTERRA at all as a business. Doesn't matter if you're already doing doTERRA as a business or you're not. You're a wholesale customer. I don't care. Anything, any question. And then I'm gonna try to answer a few of those, and that's who I'm gonna pick for the free samples of the Virage, the HD Clear, and the Essential Skincare. And you can just tell me what you want to sample. But I'm going to pick, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 people. We'll see how many people ask questions. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is when did I start thinking of doTERRA as a business? It was not when I first got my oils. I've already told you that, right? I just got doTERRA so that I could start using them on my daughter, who was not sleeping through the night. No mama wants all of the congestion mess that sometimes babies bring. And so the Breathe oil was the first oil that was shared with me. I didn't even know what essential oils were. When she said oils, I thought she was talking about coconut oil or olive oil or cooking oil. I just had never heard of oils. So that's where I started. So Kristen didn't even ask me about the business because she's probably too scared, because she's like, this girl couldn't sell anything. She doesn't even know what they are. So it was just a year-long journey of learning for me about essential oils. But then I was working in a chiropractic office, and I was just kind of sharing stuff with people naturally. And finally Kristen said, hey, So more and more people are interested in essential oils, and they're going to either ask you all the questions and go find someone else to purchase them from who actually does the business, and then keep coming back and asking you all the questions, or you could just like enroll them and then you could just get paid to answer the questions. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. I had never really thought about that because I was answering a lot of questions from a lot of people. And so I enrolled my brother and my mom were some of the first people that I shared doTERRA with. And those are people that still use doTERRA and will still say how life-changing it was. And so it's really been a rewarding thing for me to step into the business like that. What was my next question that I asked Dawn? I was going to answer for myself. One major experience that gave me an aha moment in doTERRA, and that was when my son was really sick. So this is my second baby, and he was 5 months old. I don't think I've shared this story, right? And he had a nasty cough, but I was scheduled to go fly to Arizona to see my parents and my grandparents, and I wanted to go really bad. And I was like, as soon as he gets down to Arizona, he's going to be in the sun and he'll just recover so much better. And so I just went. I maybe made a bad mom choice. And I got on the plane and I was like scared straight that the person next to me was going to be like, did you bring that sick baby on the plane? Because I knew as soon as he coughed, people were going to be like, this was pre-COVID. So anyway, I got down there and he did not get better. Like he got worse. And I don't have a provider in Arizona. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go. And he stopped nursing. Like, he's only 5 months old. And I had changed a couple dry diapers and I just like had a freak moment. And my mom luckily was down there already using doTERRA. And she's like, should we try oils? It's like, why have I not? Like you just get in this moment, this like tunnel vision where you lose all thought. And so we started doing the basic protocol on him. I taught you guys that last week. Frankincense, tea tree, aroma touch, and peppermint. And we just did the tiniest amounts because he was 5 months old. So we had actually just put one drop in 4 different dishes. So I had a frankincense dish and a tea tree dish, just like that. It was some coconut oil. So he was just getting like a fraction of a drop of oil, like very little. I did the first application. And then about 30 minutes later, we did the second application and he nursed for the first time in a long time that day after the second oil application. And then we did another application about 30 minutes later and that baby slept through the night. I don't know if he slept through the night, but he fell asleep and slept for a while. And if he did wake up, I mean, now it's fading from me a little bit, but we did another application on him. And so I don't know, maybe 3-4 applications. And he woke up that next morning and was just laying in that pack and play, like giggling. And my grandma, who hadn't had a lot of oil experience then and probably thought a little bit that we were a little crazy, like she's yelling from the other end of the Arizona house. Like she calls my grandpa, dad, you gotta get in here. This is a miracle baby in here. Like it was mind blowing. It was mind blowing. To watch him totally recover just from essential oils, like, and breast milk. That's all I had. And that's all I did. It's just this moment where I'm like, whoa, these oils are crazy, crazy powerful. So we just kept doing the protocol and he got totally better. So goosebumps, I know, right? Chokes me up. Really powerful. Okay, let me go back and answer a couple questions and then we're going to finish up and then I'll pick some winners from this and get a hold of you. My aha moment, Melanie, I've just had a lot of them. That was one of them that really just catapulted me to get going. If you jumped on my business class last Monday, you saw where my income kind of started growing right after my son was born. That was probably a big part of it. My favorite part of the business is actually this kind of stuff. I love continuing ed. I love obviously talking. I love just speaking to others and sharing. How many hours a week do I work on average? About 18 to 20 right now. I have childcare for that. I probably work a little more than that. My best knowledge tool when I first started, you guys, I didn't have anything, but the Essential Life book finally came out and that was just life-changing for me. And I find it interesting, Kayla, that you asked that question because you reminded me, you were actually the random winner from the Symphony of Cells book that I raffled off last week. So yay, that's coming to you really, really soon. And that was my favorite tool starting out as well when I was using it. All right. Is there a minimal age for someone to start a doTERRA business? You have to be 18 years old to have a doTERRA account, but I know a lot of like 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds that have their mom like reaching out to their teacher or their friend that came to school with a headache or all that kind of stuff. It's pretty funny to watch kids just get really passionate about oils. Even Callie has asked me, Mom, when are you going to teach my friends that they shouldn't be using that sanitizer and they should be using On Guard? And I'm like, I'm trying not to burn relationships, honey, soon, okay? I don't know. So yeah, anyway, those are such good gifts, such good questions. I read gift. John said they are God's, Deb said they are John's gift. Deb, who's under John Dordamel's name, said they are God's gift, and I totally agree. Essential oils are God's gift to us. So yay. Y'all stuck it out. At least most of you did. I think we lost a couple of you, but I'm going to pick some people. I'm able to view the chat after we're done here. And so I will pick, there was a lot of you. So maybe I'll pick 10. Does that sound good? 10 people to send out some skincare samples to. I would love that. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. And next week we're talking about sleep stress and emotions. Wow, that's going to be a good one. I actually have a special guest that's going to join us. She is a spiritual director and has a lot of insight on emotions, and I'm really excited for her to join me and kind of co-teach that with me. So we'll see you back here next Thursday. Bye guys.